Hans, a diligent second-year marketing student at DLSCSB, is not just any ordinary student. He is a scholar, known for his intelligence and strong work ethic. Like many of his peers, Hans juggles both his studies and extracurricular activities, working as a student assistant for the notoriously strict and meticulous Professor X. Professor X is known for his challenging exams, which only a few students manage to pass, and Hans happens to be one of them. However, behind his perfect reputation, Hans secretly does schoolwork in exchange for money. As finals approach, he finds himself receiving increasingly large offers from fellow students asking him to help with their coursework in exchange for a big sum. One student even offers him an outrageous amount to provide the answers for Professor X's upcoming finals examination. While the temptation of such a large sum of money is almost overwhelming, Hans immediately declines, fearing the severe consequences of cheating, being caught that could lead to expulsion. Despite his decision, the thought of money lingers in Hans' mind for days. He struggles with the temptation, as the offer could cover all his personal expenses for months. One day, as he relaxes during his free time, Hans watches the Thai movie Bad Genius. The film's plot centers on a group of students who create elaborate schemes to cheat on exams, and that's when the idea hits Hans like a lightning bolt. Hans thought, what if I could get the answer sheet from Professor X's exam while I'm working in his office, and then decode the answers in a way that couldn't get me caught, he thinks. Excited by the possibility, he begins to craft a plan, one that could solve his financial worries, but at what cost? With finals nearing, Hans faces a choice that will define his future. Will he take the risk to secure the money he desperately needs, or he will stay true to his values and avoid compromising his integrity? Hans is seated at his cluttered desk surrounded by papers. He writes furiously on the paper, eyes scanning the pages with deep concentration. On his notebook, we see a jumble of letters, numbers, and symbols. He pauses, checks his handwritten notes, then continues writing. The symbols on the screen rearrange into something more complex. Squares and triangles arranged in a precise sequence. He leans back in his chair, allowing himself a small sign of relief. His eyes over the paper when a string of icons now appears. Squares and triangles patterns that when deciphered reveal hidden messages. The door to Professor X's office is open. Hans enters quietly while he carries a stack of paper, just like he does every other day when he arranges Professor X's documents, but today there's a different energy about him, one that speaks of intent and secrecy. He set the papers down on the desk and surveys the office. His gaze lingers on the paper, where he knows the answer sheets are. Hans pulls out the answer sheets, checking once more to make sure no one else is around. He flips through the pages and begins to work quickly, translating the answers into secret code, squares and triangles, making each answer carefully in the pattern he devised. He exits the office making sure everything looks normal, and as Hans goes out, he quickly contacts those students who offered him money in exchange for his service a few days ago. When he was done finalizing deals, Hans made 2 copies for these clients whom he was gonna meet later that day. At 1:30 p.m., Hans goes inside the men's restroom where he waited for his first client, Andre. After a few minutes, the doors open and Andre comes in. Since other people were inside the restroom, Hans decided to use the cubicle first until the coast was clear. They waited until the last person left the restroom. As Hans leaves the cubicle, he quickly reaches for the paper in his backpack. Andre steps forward to grab the paper. However, Hans stops and makes a gesture that says hand over the money first. Andre pulls out the cash and gets it from his hands. He counted the money first before he gave Andre the paper. Hans, along with Esther, contacted her and handed over the paper, ensuring that no one saw it. That is when his mission was finally successful.